Hello Aquarius, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Hanged Man. Interesting. Let's see what that is all about. I feel like that is kind of, that's a card that it feels like acceptance to me, right? It feels like we are kind of trusting in the flow of the cosmic energy, trusting in spirit here, right? We're not wrestling. We're not trying to exert our personal power or influence over the situation. Well, let's put it into some context. Oh, an Ace of Swords. More air energy, good air energy. Some more water. High Priestess. Oh, gosh. High Priestess and the Magician and the Ace of Swords. There is a lot of certainty here. And look at that beautiful water energy at the end with the Six of Cups. This is quite nice. And you notice what I said before about how there's none of this like personal influence. We're not trying to coerce the situation. There's not a lot of fire here. There's some fire underneath. But it's almost as if we're trying to keep our fire lit, sure, but we're not trying to force anything in this situation. This is a situation of going with the flow of things, trusting in things, just riding that cosmic wave. This is nice. This is nice. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We'll put it here, Alien Simon Mork Ripley, right there on top. And now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. All right. If at any point during the reading you think you know what that card is, put your answer in the comments below. Let's do it as a group exercise, right? Let's kind of practice our intuition together, okay? Let's make it interactive. You're here. Might as well put you to work. But first, let's look around at these cards again because we've got some good major arcana here. We've got our Hanged Man. We've got our High Priestess. And we've got our Magician, right? This is nice. We've got a little bit of fire. And, you know, we have water, water, water. We've got air and air. And we've got a little bit of earth, right? And the little bit of earth is good because I think it's kind of signifying that there is an understanding of the kind of the practical earthly side of things, right? There is still a responsibility toward our kind of daily activities, our lives, you know, our physical existence. As much as there are these more kind of what I feel are like loftier energies, right? More subtle energies with the air and the water. So I think that this is really kind of a situation that calls for our acceptance of the current circumstances. Let's talk about the Hanged Man first. You're somebody that I think usually you like to be in control. You like to be the one that's kind of directing the flow of that cosmic energy, you know. But right now I feel like we are intentionally trying to stop fighting, stop wrestling with things, and just allowing the cosmic energy to flow, right? The spiritual river, you know, the spiritual tide. And we're trying to, it's almost like the universe is telling you, put your hands behind your back and, no, not like you're being arrested, but like put your hands in your pockets, you know, so that you can't do anything, so that you can't reach out and grab something and move it and change it and wrestle with it. So it's kind of like voluntarily abstaining from any kind of positive action, coercive action. It's what in the East they would call wu wei, right? It's acting by not acting, right? So it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. See, that's the key. People will hear wu wei, they'll hear non-action, they'll say, oh, good, I can take a break, I don't have to do anything. It does sound nice. But that's why we've got the earth energy here too, with the Queen of Pentacles, because the Queen of Pentacles understands what wu wei means, understands what the kind of radical acceptance. We've been talking about that a lot lately. Radical acceptance of ourselves, of the present moment, really. Right? Doesn't mean that you have to accept the circumstances. If you're not happy where you are, then let's change it. Let's work. Let's be actively involved in getting happier. Right? In finding that happiness and building that happiness. This is more of an understanding of how to. It's almost a martial arts kind of thing. You know, in a lot of martial arts, it's not about just exerting force on something or someone. It's about using the momentum that's already there. Someone's coming at you with a fist. You don't have to match the fist head on, right, and try to be stronger, more powerful than that fist. It's more of a flow. It's about just guiding that energy in the right direction, right? Using the momentum that already exists here, rather than trying to struggle against it and push it the other way. Well, if it's already coming this way, then maybe we can, it's, what do they say about martial arts? It's about helping the opponent fall down, right? You're not throwing them down, you're not pushing them down, you're just helping them to fall down. And that's kind of the vibe that I get, for whatever reason, with the Queen of Pentacles here. Maybe you're involved in martial arts or something like that, and it's resonating with you this way. But I feel like this is how we're trying to approach our physical existence, the life that we're in the middle of right now. Okay. And I think this is something a little bit new for you, right? The Hanged Man's kind of saying, look, you're just going to have to, you're gonna have to just try. That's what I mean, put your hands behind your back, just put them in your pockets or something. Resist the urge to meddle in the kind of cosmic flow of things. But it does have the very practical effects here with the Queen of Pentacles. This is a turning point for you, right? This is an energy that is advising you to look at the past, to see how every choice you've ever made has led to this moment here right now. On YouTube, watching this video, listening to me, right? And to begin to see the thread, right? This is the thread. Or maybe this is the needle that's the thread is attached to, right? To be able to see the thread of choices through your life. Every choice that you have ever made has brought you here. So if we can trace that back somehow, and we can see the more subtle meaning in everything that we did. It's like choices that you made 30 years ago, you had no idea that they would be related to this moment, right? In whatever kind of direct or indirect way. So I think that's one way of finding some sort of meaning and purpose, finding what that cosmic tide, that wave of energy is, right? And we can try to trace it back to where it started and beyond that, if that's something you're into. But just go back far enough to begin to realize that, yeah, there was this strange sense of destiny even in every choice. And in the moment, you may not know that, right? In every moment we make a decision, we don't really feel, I don't think anyway, most of us, we don't feel in this moment making this choice that this has anything to do with our destiny. I'm choosing, one thing out of a million things right now today. But looking back, we can see how all of our choices, even the good ones, the bad ones, the bumps in the road, the twists and turns, the potholes, the detours, the stalled engines, all that stuff, the flat tires. We can see how every single decision we've ever made has led us to where we are right now. Could not have been otherwise, In the moment, we feel like I can choose left or I can choose right. But then in retrospect, when we look back, we'll see, no, that was the only choice possible. Right? It's a weird kind of paradox. It's a weird thought experiment. But I think this is very important for you right now as you begin to make this transition into your future, into this destiny. I think what you're acquiring is the ability to recognize that cosmic momentum in every moment, right? You're beginning to feel that cosmic tide. Yeah. Let's go to the Ace of Swords back here. This is in the background. This is the needle that's been weaving that thread, right? And this is you, in theory, tracing all of your choices all the way back to source, right? Before your birth, before that, before that, before that, before that, before the Big Bang, if you believe in the Big Bang, what came before the singularity that birthed the universe. This is the idea of what is before birth, generally, right? It's that realm. So this is kind of the divine mission that you have always been on, and there have been a lot of Aquarius readings lately, and it's because there is this growing energy around you. There's something in the air here, no pun intended, with the swords in the air. Something is going on with Aquarius right now. And I think it's important for you as an Aquarius to feel that, to allow yourself to feel that, not try to meddle or fight it or resist it or influence it in this kind of personal human way. But to use this momentum, right, to be able to anticipate where this thread is going, right, so that you can be more in harmony with it. Okay, this is the divine will. This is your divine will and the divine will. Okay, this is big self and little self. In harmony. And if we know where this thread has been, if we can see the patterns the last 30 years or whatever, however old you are, then we have a better odds, I guess, of anticipating where this thread is going next, where it's leading us to, right? Because the flip side of the Queen of Pentacles is the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is looking in the other direction on the horse ready to go. We need both the Knight and the Queen of Pentacles, right? We need to look at the past and see the patterns and the twists and the turns and all this stuff, so that we can then look to the future and see where we're headed and how best to get there, how to either avoid patterns that we were in before that kind of that hindered us, and even that gets into the philosophical thing. Well, were those really hindrances? Is it something that we should avoid? Is our attempt to avoid those us meddling? And these are all questions that you have to sort out for yourself. Here's the Queen of Swords. Right, we got the Queen of Pentacles, we got a Queen of Swords here. So recognizing this pattern and being able to shift your focus to the future and be part of the process, follow the patterns, follow the flow, follow the thread to the future, right? It's like Theseus in the labyrinth, only it's not leading Theseus. I think is it Theseus? I think it is, with the Minotaur in the labyrinth, yeah. It's not leading them out of the labyrinth, but deeper into it, right? Not to the past, not to where they have been, right, the entrance, but to the end, to all the way in, right? As deep as it will go, to the future, okay? But this is something that you have to sort out and discern for yourself, using this understanding, using your higher knowledge, your higher wisdom and understanding. We've got that over here on the path of the serpent. You can hear my cat in the background calling. She's confirming. You don't have to trust me, but trust the universe. Trust the cat. Trust the cat. The Seven of Wands is down here at the bottom because this is what we're trying to quiet down in ourselves a little bit. It's not completely gone, right? This card's not off the table. It's here. There's fire here. This is the card that wants to fix every problem. Sees a nail, wants to be the hammer. There's a million nails. Well, you got to be the hammer, right? One nail at a time. If we're always looking for something to fix, then everything will be a problem for us to fix, right? If we're seeking problems, then we're going to find them, right? And this is kind of that meddling energy, right? It's very strong energy. This is energy that there's no problem too large that I can't solve. There's no nail too large that I can't hammer away at. But maybe it's time for a different tool. Maybe it's time for us to not even be holding a tool, right? To just kind of, my hands are empty. I'm not holding a tool right now. And again, this doesn't mean that you're not actively engaged in your life. That doesn't mean that you're not trying to do things. It doesn't mean that you're not fixing problems as they arise. We've got to think on a different plane here. Okay? So that's why I said with this earth energy, in part, this is you're understanding that you solve earthly problems with earthly means. If there are nails that need hammering, well, you got to hammer them. If you're building something, you've got to put it together with glue and nails and that sort of thing. But we don't want to mix the planes here. All right? So on the spiritual plane, we don't need to hammer away at the nails. Right? We need to understand the purpose of the nails and this even kind of looks like a nail, right? We've got to understand what it's holding together and where we're going. We got to see the thread, right? Now, interestingly, in the future position, we have an Eight of Cups. And this is sometimes water filling up the cups. Sometimes it's water draining from the cups. It's either glass is half full or it's half empty, there's a crack in it, it's leaking, it's hot, it's evaporating, it's nasty, right? And this is the bittersweet experience of the spiritual path, right? Anyone that's been doing any kind of initiatory work, magical work, ritual work, initiatory stuff, esoteric stuff, it's intensely rewarding, but then it's also, there's this a tinge of sorrow to it, right? So I feel as if this is kind of what you're expecting. This is what you're looking at, right? Because it's right in front of you. It is directly in the future here. This is kind of the day-to-day experience. Some days are good, some days are bad. Sometimes you really feel the love and you feel the reward. You feel spirit around you. Other days you feel like, you can't quench your thirst, right? And that's something that we expect. That's something we acknowledge, and we're ready for it. Now, we're going to move to the path of the serpent here. And as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Hit the like button, leave me a comment. I love to hear from you, all right? I appreciate you. Now, back to the task at hand. We've got these two. We've got wisdom and understanding. We've got intuition, and we've got kind of a systems logic here. So we start with the High Priestess, and this is really the thread itself, right? Because the High Priestess comes directly from God, Goddess, Deity, directly from the Self with a capital S, and directly into our human mind. So this card really, in all seriousness, should be way here above the Queen of Swords, right? Because it is the Queen of Swords that is trying to understand what the High Priestess is saying. This is the thread itself. This is the message from the divine. This is the intuition, too, in a lot of ways, right? This is a full moon energy, which is to say that you are perceiving things in a different way, not with your physical eyes, right? Not with your five senses, but with your third eye, with your sixth sense. Okay? And this is another reason why we have very limited earth energy today. Because the earth stuff is on the earth plane. Do that stuff, right? Take care of your earthly life. But open up your inner perception. Open up your psychic perception. I think you are. I think you have been. I think this card is saying that you've probably been experiencing a lot of what some would call paranormal activity. Okay, it's a good series of movies, by the way. I should go watch them after I film today. I think that you're someone who is open to paranormal experiences, supernatural experiences, psychic experiences, that whole sort of thing, whatever you want to call it. I don't really like the term supernatural. I think I like paranormal better than supernatural, because everything is natural to me, right? Everything is here. We're produced by nature, by the universe, God, Goddess, deity, and so that everything we do, by definition, is also natural, right? Anyway, that's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into right now. So I feel, anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you are open to these kinds of experiences, but at the same time, you're also a bit of a skeptic. And I think it's the perfect combination. These two cards together are the best of both worlds. You're a skeptic, not in the sense that you don't believe anything. It's not what a skeptic is. You're open to everything. You want to believe everything. I want to witness these things. I want to understand the message. I want to see the thread. I want to be wrapped in the spiritual energy. But you're very discerning. That you're not going to believe it blindly, that you're going to experience it for yourself firsthand. That's the magician. That's the magician with magic. We want to believe in magic, or supernatural, paranormal, psychic stuff, spiritual stuff, whatever. Everything, just all of it, right? We want to believe. Our intuition tells us to believe, tells us that, we have this destiny, that we have this divine mission. But then Mercury is also here to say, okay, I want to witness it. I want to experience it. I want to be it, right? It's very easy for us to just feel, I've had people that would ask, why are you on a spiritual path? And, why is there this need to meditate or to experience this kind of samadhi or union or nirvana or bliss? Why do you seek spiritual experience? And it's just, there's really no reason to explain, but it's for the experience of it, right? For the certainty. And people will say, well, I'm certain that the universe is one. I know that we're all connected, so I don't have to do any kind of spiritual work because I already know it's all connected. There's a big difference between just kind of knowing something or feeling like you know it or thinking you know it, and then actually experiencing it. The textbook is not the activity. The map is not the territory. Right? The intellectual acceptance of an idea, the universe is one. We're all one. Yeah, okay. But to experience it is another thing. And we could put either of those on either side. Maybe Mercury is one that says, I already know everything, so I don't have to experience it. And then the High Priestess is saying, knowledge is nothing. You need the wisdom of experiencing it. Anyone can say, I believe in God, Goddess, deity. But without the experience of it, we're missing like 99% of the thing here, But you've got both of these. You've got both of these. However you want to assign them. doesn't really matter. But I think that you are definitely shifting into a more kind of internal exploration, more magical work, more ritual work, more prayer, more meditation, right? Feels like you're shifting into those things more, that you're experiencing more of those things, and it's kind of leading you down that path a little bit more, you know. The next card. I love this card, Princess of Cups. This is the fish in the percolator, which that may not make sense to very many of you. Maybe we'll get that card as the mystery card or in the extended reading with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. But this is the imagination. This is the realm of dreams, daydreams, visions, active imagination, astral journeys, right? The spirit vision. And this is in the position of the obstacle, right? Or of what we don't want. Because there is this discernment needed, which I feel like you have, of understanding what is just our fancy, what is... Wow, that was the cat up there. Did you hear that? Wow, that's kind of shocking. What is just our imagination, our daydreams, and what is the real spiritual realm, the spiritual perception? You know, it's understanding the difference between a true vision and just kind of a fancy, you know, a daydream, just our mind kind of wandering. And that's part of the discernment we need with, well, not only the magician and the high priestess, but with the air energy, the swords cards that we have. We need to be able to find the kernel of truth amidst all of the images and visions that we have, right? There has to be a way to know what is the thread and what is just our kind of wishful thinking, you know. So this card is a difficult card, but this is where the work needs to take place, and that's internally. That's in your imagination, in the astral realm, the spiritual realm, to find our way through that. This is the labyrinth, this card, you know. And I think it's a huge undertaking, but the rewards of it are so great. Now, we said before that kind of your day-to-day experience is going to be like this Eight of Cups. Some days good, some days not so good. It's going to be up and down. It's flowing. This is life, right? It fluctuates. Doing this work, doing the spiritual work that you're doing, following your divine purpose, your destiny, right? Finding this thread, everything that we've been talking about, leads to a significant breakthrough. Because then here you have the Six of Cups. It's like we're transcending. It's like you're doing all of this realm in the, the astral realm, the imaginarium, and we break through. It's almost like we find the exit door to get out of the astral realm, to get out of the personal astral, or perhaps the lower spiritual planes. We break through that and we get to this land of pure bliss, right? With the Six of Cups. Some of you are on this path of spiritual attainment. Some of you probably do magic or meditation kind of work. And this is the result of that. This is the union with God, Goddess, Deity that we're after. Okay. This is the transcending of the daily ups and downs of life, even though these will always be there. But part of us has transcended those. So we remember what true bliss feels like. These day-to-day fluctuations don't affect us so much. Yeah, they still suck. No one wants to have a bad day. But it doesn't have to devastate us, right? Because we have this kind of harmony and resonance with the universe now, with God, Goddess, Deity, spirit guides, guardian angels, ancestors, right? Whatever you want to call it, the absolute. I didn't mean for this to be such a kind of, mystical reading. But it's kind of gone in that direction, This is also, in a very practical way, your experience of positive connections, right? A lot of harmony and resonance, not just in the spiritual world, but in the practical world, in life, right? Life is not, we don't separate spiritual from practical life. There's no actual line or border between heaven and earth. It's all one, right? It's all just an accumulation of energy. We don't know what it is. But it doesn't have, I don't feel like, it doesn't have really distinct boundaries, right? It's not completely separated. It's not a duality. It's not heaven and earth. It's all something or nothing or whatever. So the spiritual bliss that we might experience is going to be present in our daily practical lives too. And this may manifest in the form of just a more positive perspective, more optimism. It might be a deeper enjoyment with loved ones, friends, family, making new connections, meeting new people, right? Allowing ourselves to connect with people, to say yes to people, also to say no to people, right? If you're not feeling their energy, that's okay. You can say no. So this card's all about saying yes and saying no, right? More connections of the right kind, less connections of the wrong kind. So there's a practical element to this reading too. Let's look at the mystery card before I take up too much of your time today. I don't have much of a clue, I'll be honest with you. We could maybe be talking about some more earth energy, maybe a 6 of Pentacles. Maybe it'll be the Page of Cups, right? The fish in the percolator. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking fish in the percolator or the 6 of Pentacles. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments at this time, and we'll see what we've got here. Oh. We've got a tower. Got a tower. Significant changes. Now, this doesn't have to be a negative card. Remember, every card has light and shadow. Part of the shadow here is that, yes, it might be kind of abrupt. There might be disruption in your life. It might really shake things around. It might seem like it's tearing things down, but those are things that we don't need, right? Those are things that are confining our spirit. If something leaves from your life, it wasn't meant to be there, okay? This card is also about waking up to your true nature, your true self. This is, in some ways, a vision of God, goddess, deity, right? This is kind of the energy that breaks through this astral realm, let's say, and gets to the true kind of cosmic consciousness. This is the breakthrough spiritually that I think you're headed toward. And it may seem shocking, it may seem abrupt, it may seem like it disrupts things, right? It's going to realign your chakras, let's say. And sometimes this can be a painful experience. This could be sort of a Kundalini awakening, full chakra activation. It may seem a little difficult, right, to put it lightly. There may be a lot of energies being released all at once that you have to kind of maintain a little bit of, not control, but tolerance of, right? Tolerance of it. It's one of those things, and maybe this is why we have that Hanged Man. Struggling against it is going to make it feel worse. Best thing to do is to kind of allow it to flow through you, and it won't be as rough, right? Big breakthrough coming for you. Spiritual breakthrough. But remember, even a spiritual breakthrough is going to have its counterpart in our practical lives, right? Spiritual breakthrough is going to come with some physical, practical, kind of earth world breakthroughs as well, right? And it could be things are leaving. You're realizing things that aren't for you anymore. And you're more easily able to put those down, to move on from those, right? To break free from things that have been restricting your earthly happiness and success and progress and connection and bliss and happiness and all that. So this is a good card. I like this one. This is good. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, click up here. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Aquarius, but for every sign. New Aquarius readings Mondays and Thursdays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. I want to thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I love you, and we're all in this together.